Welcome to the first dedicated stability session in the Unlock Your Body program. We'll be on the floor the entire time. You won't need any equipment, though you'll need to be able to slide your feet, so you may find a piece of paper, furniture slider, or something similar to be helpful. We're going to build on what we've already learned about pelvic placement, active exhaling, and shoulder engagement as we move through this stability session. So it will be important that you're comfortable with body positioning for those before moving on to this section. Remember, the timeframes for this program are just suggestions. The only right pace is a safe pace. Let's get started with reclined shoulder packing. Lie on your back with your knees up, soles of your feet on the floor, feet about hip width apart. Make sure your pelvis is in neutral, wedging a cushion underneath if you need to do so for safety. Extend your arms straight out to the side and then bend them at the elbows so you look like you're forming a goalpost. Take a moment to root your shoulder blades down your back, creating space between your shoulders and your ears. From here, you're going to inhale, filling your belly as you normally would, and on the active exhale, gently push your elbows into the floor below you. You should feel this all the way through your shoulders. Repeat moving with breath, inhale, release, exhale, pressing into the floor. You won't be able to see this movement very well. It's an incredibly small movement, but this is a foundational move for starting to build scapular stability. Moving into reclined latissimus dorsi pull down. Stay where you are, just releasing your arms overhead with palms to the floor, creating a Y shape. Inhale, filling your belly, and on your active exhale, bend your elbows, bringing them down towards your waist. Try to activate that movement from just below your shoulder blades. Continue doing this, moving with your breath, inhaling your arms back overhead into the Y shape, and then active exhaling them, pulling them down. Our latissimus dorsi is another imperative muscle for building scapular stability. It runs from the bottom of our shoulder blades down through our low back, and it connects on the outer edge of our armpit area. Even though this is a large muscle, it can be fairly weak for those of us who have scapular stability. So it's really important that we get started by strengthening this muscle in a position that's going to be safe and encourages proper spinal alignment while we're doing it. Moving into prone W's. Go ahead and flip over on your stomach. That's what prone means, on your stomach. Keep your neck neutral by keeping your forehead on the floor, and feel free to use something under your forehead if that's more comfortable. Extend your arms out straight at your side with your palms flat on the floor. And then bend your elbows, bringing them in just a little bit, creating a W shape. Staying in this position, you're going to lift your torso on the inhale, activating the movement from below your shoulder blades, pushing the front of your hips into the floor to help alleviate pressure on your low back. Exhale, release. Repeat moving with your breath. Keep your neck neutral, gazing toward the floor the entire time. We're working our smaller mid-back muscles here. These are the ones that we want to strengthen to help alleviate some of the overcompensation and tension from our upper shoulders, our upper trapezius. Moving into a prone frog pump. Stay where you are, bringing your hands together and putting them under your forehead. Bend your knees and bring the soles of your feet together. Widen your knees however much is comfortable. On the inhale, you're going to gently press the soles of your feet together and engage your glutes to lift your knees off the floor. Exhale, release, repeat, moving with your breath. Again, a very small movement here. Really focus on activating the movement from your gluteal muscles. And if you feel any strain in your low back, you've gone too far. Our gluteal muscles are a key hip stabilizer. This is a great way to strengthen them and help us build mind-muscle connection between engaging our glute muscles. Moving into seated abduction slides. Go ahead and sit up. Again, making sure your pelvis is in neutral, something propped underneath you if need be. Place your arms next to you with your palms on the floor, using them to help steady you a bit. Engage your shoulders. Inhale like normal. On the active exhale, lift up through your kneecap slightly and slide your leg out. Inhale, bring your leg back to center. Active exhale, sliding it back out to the right. Keep pulling up through your kneecap, or imagine engaging that quadricep, the top of your thigh. You want to make sure we don't lock our knees here. You should really feel this movement in the right side of your hip as well. Switch, we're going to do this on the left side. Same thing, check your positioning again, make sure your pelvis is still in neutral and your shoulders are away from your ears. I like to push away from the floor a little bit, that helps me. Active exhale, swinging the left leg out toward the left, inhale it back to center. Again, activating the movement from the left side of the hip while keeping the kneecap and quadriceps engaged. Moving into seated leg arcs, which are for our hip flexors. Staying exactly where you are, pelvis in neutral, shoulders engaged. This time on the active exhale, we're going to lift our heel, making a little tiny rainbow as we swing our leg out to the right. You should feel this even more in your quadriceps now, as well as that right hip. Again, same thing, you don't have to be lifting too far off the ground. The most important thing is keeping the pelvis in neutral, keeping the shoulders engaged, and activating movement from your quads. You should also feel this in your deep core. Let's switch and do this on the left side. Same thing, active exhale, making your rainbow, inhale back to center. Moving into external shoulder rotations. Cross your legs, bringing yourself into easy pose, and then bring your palms together at your chest with your elbows tightly at your rib cage. On the inhale, you're going to open your palms by rolling your arm bones back and activating the movement at your smaller mid-back muscles. Exhale your palms back together at center. Repeat, moving with your breath. Keep your elbows tucked to your rib cage the entire time. You should feel this both opening through your chest as well as strengthening those mid-back muscles. Moving into tabletop or forearm hip abduction. Come into tabletop or down on your forearms, whatever is most comfortable. Just make sure that your pelvis is in neutral and your shoulders are over your elbows or your wrists, whichever one you're in. Keep your neck neutral the entire time. Inhale your belly toward the floor, and on the active exhale, open your right hip, driving the outside of that knee up toward the ceiling. Again, this isn't about how far you can lift your leg. Make sure you're activating the movement from the side of your hip and really concentrate on keeping our pelvis in neutral. This is an easy one for us to let our low back cave, and we don't want to do that. Continue moving with your breath. Inhale your leg back to center. Active exhaling your knee out. We're going to just switch sides, doing the same thing with the left leg. Inhale, release the belly toward the floor. Active exhale, left knee out. Inhale, release, repeat, moving with your breath. You may want to take note here of how different this feels compared to when we did the same type of movement when we were sitting down and sliding our foot across the floor. You probably feel this more in your other glute as well, and obviously this adds a stability challenge for our upper body. Moving into tabletop or forearm hip flexion, stay exactly where you are. This time on your active exhale, you're just going to bring your knee towards your elbow. Inhale, release, repeat, moving with your breath. At first glance, this looks like a deep core move, which it is, but this is also great for our hip flexors. Switch, doing the same thing on the left side. Active exhaling the left knee toward the elbow. Inhale, release, repeat, moving with your breath. Same thing, you may want to take note of how this feels different in your body compared to when we were doing a similar movement with our hip arcs, hip rainbows. I don't know what the best description is. Ooh, okay, good job. Shake it out. Round one is done. We're just going to go through and repeat that one more time. I'm going to talk a little bit less throughout this round. I want to make sure that you have time to do mind-muscle connection. So we're going to move into reclined shoulder packing, lying on our backs, knees up, making a goalpost with our arms. Inhale your belly up comfortably. Active exhale, pushing into the floor below you. Repeat, moving with your breath. Moving into the reclined latissimus dorsi pull down, staying where you are, extending your arms wide overhead into a Y shape. Inhale the belly up, and then active exhale, pulling your elbows in toward your midline. Inhale the arms back up, repeat, moving with your breath. Moving into prone W's, flip over onto your stomach. Go ahead and make that W shape with your arms, keeping your neck in neutral, gazing at the floor the whole time. Lift through your chest on the inhale, release on the exhale. Repeat moving with your breath. Moving into prone frog pumps, staying where you are, bringing the soles of your feet together, knees as wide apart as comfortable. Inhale, lifting your feet by engaging your glutes. Exhale, release. Repeat, moving with your breath. Moving into seated abduction slides, go ahead and sit up with your legs extended straight out in front of you. On the active exhale, slide your right foot out by activating the movement from your right hip. Inhale, bring it back to center. Repeat, moving with your breath. Switching sides, doing that on the left. Again, just gently lift up through the kneecap, engaging the quads so you make sure that you're not locking the knee here. Moving into seated hip rainbows on the right side. Active exhale, lifting your heel, making your rainbow. Inhale, bring it back to center. Switch sides, doing this on the left. Moving into external shoulder rotation, bringing yourself into easy pose. You may want to cross your legs the opposite way that you had them last time. Palms together at your chest, opening them on the inhale, making sure to keep your elbows attached to your rib cage the entire time. Close on the exhale. Repeat, moving with your breath. Moving into tabletop or forearm hip abduction on the right side. Get your pelvis and shoulders positioned for safety. On the active exhale, open that right hip. Inhale it back to center. Repeat, moving with your breath. Switching sides, doing this on the left. Really try to focus on feeling that movement from the side of your hips and your glutes. And keep your neck neutral. It's really easy to accidentally let those shoulders creep up when we're doing work like this. Moving into tabletop or forearm hip flexion. Same thing, except this time on the active exhale, you're going to bring your right knee towards your elbow. Inhale it back to tabletop. Repeat, moving with your breath. Let's switch sides. Do this on the left. Active exhale, tucking your knee in towards your elbow. Inhale back to tabletop. That's it. Great job. You have made it through our very first stability session. I hope you give yourself a really big pat on the back because we just did a lot of work, but it will be worth it. As long as you're not too sore, you can do this 2 to 3 times per week. As always, please don't forget to like, subscribe, comment, all the things. I hope you feel a little bit more comfortable in your body. I will see you next time.